happened yesterday. Someone said, "Oh, just go to the optometrist, like round like Specsavers, just to get this eye checked." I was like, okay. He was busy, so he sent me elsewhere, even though he'd offered me today's appointments. I said I'm not available. Anyway, so I go elsewhere, and they're annoyed because I'm the third person that's come in with a red eye, and I'm not going to be their customer, kind of thing. So it was like that was the confrontation to start with, and I thought. So you clearly don't want my business if I was interested in buying glasses. So I
Yeah.
walked out. So I ended up walking out and going to my normal optometrist. But the third one, I forgot my normal optometrist was in the same building, same place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like here I am trusting somebody else and not trusting myself to my gut instinct to go straight to my normal one, you know?
Yeah.
So it's that
Yeah.
yeah, getting external information as opposed to internal information. So yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
And I also saw the gap between the two businesses, and I thought, oh, there's a business opportunity here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah. So
wild, isn't it? When we start flipping the script for our trust and we start looking inwards versus ours, we literally have to rewire the way our brain finds and searches for information. Because usually in the standard model, in the standard conditioning and programming that we all have, we distrust our own knowledge and library of stored information, library of known information, and we rely on trusting the outside world. It makes perfect sense when we were young, when we were babies. We made a lot of mistakes. We look out to our parents, and our parents teach us. Our parents are a source of knowledge and wisdom and information. So we are programmed and wired to
mm,
trust the information coming out from the outside world and question the information we have internally. All right, which is phenomenal if we all had great parents who instilled a lot of self-trust and confidence and certainty within us. But unfortunately, due to no
mm,
fault of their own, due to just lack of generational training and parenting and all those sort of things, we're taught, no, you're wrong. We're
mm,
taught to distrust the information that we have, and we have evidence, a library of known information based on us being wrong or us making mistakes. So the brain naturally distrusts its own library of known information. It will use it when I say, why can't I do this? The brain's like, oh, here's all the reasons why. But when we say, oh, I can do this, the brain's like, oh, hang on a sec. It's going to take a little bit to process this right now because that all says that we can't. In fact, we've reinforced that. So the brain has to prune some of those old synaptic connections and just the way that it receives and perceives information through our
mm,
eyes and then through our memory bank to kind of flip it up and go, okay, let's go memory bank first. Okay, let's take this information in, but let's filter it through memory bank and look for reasons that we can trust rather than the other way around. So it's a whole biology thing going on. It's pretty nerdy.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty odd. And yeah, when I went to my kinesiologist today, because I said, oh, I've got a parasite, and he says, I love you because you know exactly what's wrong. And he
Yeah.
said, yeah, that would what's going on up here. Like it actually, yeah. What's your
Yeah.
take on that? Because you've studied epigenetics.
Do you actually do you get tested and actually have
Well,
parasite or is
he's
it
a,
just a
he's a
guess?
kinesiologist, and I can usually tell. I lived in third world countries for
Yeah.
quite a while, so I'm prone to them. I'm quite
Yeah.
sensitive. So yeah,
Have you gone to get like the medical test and the proper medical treatment for it?
no.
Okay. So I do have a take on parasites because I've had them before. Um, when it comes to medical science, I mean, taking a medication to remove a parasite is pretty good. It does strip a lot of other things. However, the body will rebuild the natural things. And there's so many like natural remedies and natural medicines that you can take to rid your brain and body of parasites. And it 100% will. If you have a parasite running around in your brain or in your body, which is affecting your biochemical structure, that will then affect you at an epigenetic level and change the way that your gene structure restructures and recreates your body. The science is exact, right? Anything that's in your system or your body that changes the proteins or the quality of proteins your body produces can change whether or not you're recreating yourself from your genetic level through health, wealth, and vitality or through dis-ease, through dysregulation and downregulation of certain genetic switches. So that the science is 100% there. Um, I do know of and have heard of a lot of people thinking or being told that they have parasites when they don't. And then the brain hears that story, oh, I have a parasite, that's why. And all of a sudden it just becomes a neural pathway that it's like, okay, now here's the reason I can't do things, or here's the reason I have fog, or here's the reason I have
Mm,
this. And if the real reason is we're unconsciously holding on to a traumatic memory of the past, but the brain goes, oh, we don't have to visit that. If we keep running the story that I must have a parasite and that's why I'm foggy, then we can kind of trip ourselves up neurologically. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
it
So
does.
yeah, and I trust in that. I take natural,
100%.
yeah, I take
Yep.
natural medicine remedies. I rarely take anything else. I much prefer the natural route. However, I'm also smart enough to know that if I am I've been to a naturopath or something, I say, hey, you might have this, or you might have this. Although then I'll then go get tested for it biochemically.
Yeah.
I'll do a stomach test or a blood test or something to get the confirmation that that's what I have, and then I'll take the natural remedy. Whatever it is, I'll always choose natural products over modern pharmaceutical medicines. But
Yeah.
yeah, as I mentioned, I'll go and get checks through the proper channels. I'll get my blood tested. I'll get bowel checks. I'll get whatever I can to confirm
Yeah.
what naturopaths and kinesiologists and those sort of things have said that the ailments are.
Yeah.
Does it make
Well,
sense?
I've got the homeopath for it, but
Yeah.
it's evident to me when it comes on because yesterday by 3 p.m. I was ready for sleep and my
Yeah.
whole gut was bloated. Like I can, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of know the symptoms and signs of something's not right kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Those people are just
thanks.
tuned in halfway through us talking about parasites and bloating. What the monkeys is going on here? G'day,
Yeah, I was
biologists.
curious on your take on it all, but thank you.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
think towards the later models, epigenetics and quantum physics, I think it's in module 6 or 7. We do a live session specifically on the breakdown of epigenetics and how it all works. I think in one of the content videos, one of them, I'm not sure which one, but I do speak about the mechanics of epigenetics and how that process works, because it's absolutely wild. And I think my physical body is a great example of this. For all intents and purposes, I shouldn't be walking. I've had grade 1 and grade 2 tears in my ACL, PCL, and MCL in both knees. So it's all three ligaments in my knees. The nerve cluster in my lower back has shifted by about 2 millimeters and is almost impeding on my spine due to a blast, like a concussive blast from an explosion over in Afghanistan. I've got soft tissue damage all over my body. I should not be walking.
Mm,
However, because I maintain such a not like toxic positive, but I maintain a great mindset, I'm
mm,
constantly feeding and producing really positive, enriching, and empowering neurochemicals due to my perception, due to how I am perceiving the different experiences and emotions that I go through, that I'm not force feeding my brain adrenaline, cortisol, which through epigenetics will then down regulate
mm,
the parts of my genetic code that produce white blood cells, that produce my immune system, and then upregulate the parts of my genetic code that produce inflammation, and produce disease. I'm down regulating all of those, and I'm upregulating all of the parts of my genetic code because I'm producing dopamine, oxytocin, oxygen, nitric oxide, all of the healing, positive brain chemicals. I'm upregulating all of the switches in my genetic code that are smashing my body full of fresh white blood cells that are focusing on cellular repair, that are upregulating my immunoglobulin A, which is your body's natural immune system. And I fast regularly for sometimes up to anywhere from a 24 hour to a 1 day to a 3 day fast, which is a
mm,
complete genetic reset to the point
mm,
where when you fast for longer than about 40 to 48 hours, your body starts eating through cancerous cells. It's gone through all its natural fat stores, food stores. You put yourself into a state of ketosis where your body stops eating, producing fat and sugar and starts eating and producing ketones as a fuel source. Your body then starts hunting for unhealthy and downregulated cells. And it starts
mm.
eating cells that can become cancerous. It starts eating cells that produce inflammation. It starts eating as a fuel source and biodegrading all of the nasty cells. And it's a complete genetic reset. So I do that frequently. So
Mm.
all of those things combined keep me moving and walking and be able to run and skate and still maintain all of these other physical states that I'm able to, when for all intensive purposes, if you were to look at scans of my body from when I was injured, I shouldn't be doing any of those things. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
MTHFR, so it's like
You get it.
turning the tap on, turning the tap off.
Literally.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
100%. And it's been this work that we're all learning in BYOC, that we're all going through in these live modules that I'm sometimes shouting and bringing all 75 of my personalities out to deliver to you guys in a way that lands. It's all of that knowledge and information and then just repetition and constantly going, no, I've got this. I'm going to make it land. I'm going to make it work. That has brought me to this physiological state. Does that make sense? Like
Yep.
everyone here in this room, everyone watching this replay, everyone on earth, you have no idea how much power you have of the regeneration of your body. It is insane how much control we have over our own health and well-being. Make sense? I know marketing and media expect you to use all of these, these creams and spend all of this money on these different ailments and different things, which will do nothing more than force a chemical into your body in order for your body to then bypass its natural capacity to create health wealth and then have you rely on an external chemical or an external product to give you the same thing that your body has the capacity to do with a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of compassion, and a little bit of understanding about how the systems work. And a shitload of discipline because fasting for a few days sucks. I'm very hungry all the time, all right? I don't like fasting, but the effect it gives me and the mental clarity I get from fasting is just insane. Cool stuff. You're muted, Valerie.
Oh, okay. What I was going to say is thanks to you and thanks to Sally for going on the coffee detox. I'm now on a coffee detox. So day 4,
Yes. Well,
coffee
I'll
detox.
cheers my coffee to you on a coffee. Yes, 30
However, I
days.
noticed my protein powder had coffee flavor in it. So that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
When I finish that, it'll be definitely no coffee,
Yeah,
no coffee.
100%. How long
Yeah.
are you going for? What's your detox?
I'd love to do it to the end of the year, actually.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah,
good.
I'm thinking it like a 3 month,
Yeah,
three
that's
months
solid.
journey.
The first
Yeah,
kind of
because
week is like is a little bit challenging, but after
no,
that, the first couple of days, I found,
I just put my coffee machine in my cupboard so I don't see it,
yeah,
and that's it.
we
Yeah.
have different experiences. The first few days of me are like, why am I doing this? God, why? Different strokes for different blokes. However, that's actually not a bad idea. Do you guys want to do a challenge? You guys up for a little 7-day challenge? Yeah. Okay, I want you to pick something that you love. Something that you absolutely love. Please don't make it your children or your partner, but anything else other than a human being. It could be sugar, it could be sweets, it could be coffee, it could be that glass of wine, it could be something. What's something that maybe it's not a problem, it doesn't always have to be a problem, but just something that you absolutely love that you have regularly. What is that thing? I want you to give it up. We've already cut out a lot. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. And just take a little bit of time and think about it. But I want you to choose something that you really enjoy, that you really love. Maybe it's causing a problem. Maybe it's not. Maybe this thing isn't even causing a problem, but it's just something that you enjoy doing. And I want you to consciously give it up. If you want to go nuts, give it up for 30 days. If not, just start at 7. Right? As long as it's not something that's going to directly affect your mental well-being, I wouldn't say give up on exercise or give up on human connection or anything along those lines. But things like coffee, or if it's like sugar, or if it's like a little chocky at the end of the day, or something along those lines. And the reason I want you guys to do this challenge is I want you to consciously choose to instill discipline, not because you have to, not because you must, not because without discipline, then you're worthless, but just because you can, and just to show yourself that you don't have to wait for something to be a problem before you can choose to place a boundary and discipline around it. Does that make sense? Because I can get, yeah, yours was coffee. Yeah, mine was coffee too. Mine is coffee. I go on coffee detoxes regularly. Again, not because I have a problem. I drink two, sometimes I drink 1 coffee a day, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 6. But I don't have a problem with coffee, and I don't give up coffee because I'm too jittery or because I have this big problem with it. Every now and then I just like to remind myself how powerful I am. And I like to remind myself that I can say no to things that I enjoy. All right. And what that usually does is when there's a marketing task or something coming up, or I'm like, oh my God, okay, this is hard. I get to remind myself, hang on a sec. If I can give up something I love, like coffee, for no other reason and to instill a bit of discipline, you guarantee I can get myself to do this thing. Guarantee you I can get out there and start posting more on social media. Guarantee I can get out there and start doing lives or start doing this or start doing that or whatever else it might be. Does that make sense? Again, this whole game of success and fulfillment, it's just a game of balance. And when I say balance, what I mean is stacked evidence. Do you have enough evidence stacked in your favor that you'll do the things you say you're going to do and that you won't do the things you say you won't do? That's it. If you give up coffee 4 times in a year for a week, you've got 4 pieces of stacked evidence that you can be disciplined, that you can keep your word to yourself, and that when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. All right? You only need a few of those before the next task will come along where it's like, okay, this thing is scary. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's raising my prices. Maybe it's getting out there and networking. Maybe it's taking my business from online to in person. Maybe it's starting a new relationship. Who knows? Maybe it's giving up an actual bad habit. Who knows what the thing is? But when you have that evidence stacked, that you can keep your word, little integrity challenge, you can keep your word. And when time comes, it's handy to have that to rely on. Does that make sense? Cool, cool. All right. I think this might be all we have tuning in for today. Let's have a quick look. Everyone else can catch the replay. All right, so we're just going to do round robin Q&A style today. I don't have anything to present in particular, so we might start with Kylie. We'll start with you. Question time. Hit me up. Where are you at? What do you need? What is your Q&A?
I knew you were going to pick me. Man. Yeah. There's so many. I've got so many questions and things that go around in here. It's just when you ask me those things, it's scattered. I think, well, ugh.
All the parts of you going, he sees me. Run, hide,
Goodness.
back down into
Okay, all
nothingness.
right. I do have a good one. Like I'm doing this and the loops, you know.
Yes.
I kind of understand the structure, but me trying to figure out one of my habits and the loops, I'm finding it very hard to actually put it together. Like I can read it and know it, but then to actually think about me and a habit and a loop that I'm in, it's hard for me to actually put it together and
That's cool. Let's do it.
it's so hard.
What is it? What have you got written down there?
Nothing. Like
Okay.
I've read everything and I've done notes, but I haven't actually
Like put it all together?
yeah. I
Yeah, well,
just
what do we
can't
know?
seem
Awesome.
to. You might think so.
It's, are you looking at this as a threat or an opportunity?
An opportunity, yeah, because I'm just try. I look at them and I look at the reflection questions and then to do the loop and then I get to that and then I stop and I think, how do I actually? I just get a blank.
Well, there's the first loop. The first loop is blank. Does it seem to happen
Um,
often?
um,
Is it a
oh, in
pattern?
here.
Just the blankness?
No, not really. No, no, only because you've got me to think about it and
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Um,
so there's a way to get around this is if when I'm sort of asking you, you're like, oh, I'm not really sure, and then this is when I get stuck. This is why I suggest when you're doing the content and when you're doing the models, write down the reflective questions because then when I ask you, it doesn't matter if you get stuck. You can pull out your notepad and you can go, actually, these are all the reflective questions.
they're all
These are all the
here.
exercises I've been doing. Awesome. So read one off. Have a look at your reflections, have a look at your questions and the answers. Is there anything in there that you want a little bit more clarity on? Is there anything in there you're like, actually, you know what? Or would you like to work on this part where it's like, as soon as I'm called up in the hot seat, I just go completely blank?
Well, maybe that because that's where I am right now. You know.
The adventure
Yeah,
has chosen
I'm
you.
calm about it. It's not like I'm freaking out or anything.
Hmm.
It's just that I'm
Yeah.
not sure how to like. And then I think, well, what is the loop? What one will I pick? You know, or yeah, I just
Is
like I
this
don't know
it's
where to
kind of
start.
like a little bit of, does it feel like an indecisiveness? Or does it feel like I don't have access to the information-ness?
Maybe the latter. I think 'cause I'm not
Maybe
quite.
does it show up anywhere else?
Oh, and can I just say I was watching because I actually totally forgot about. I think it was the introductory. I've actually got it. Oh, where is it somewhere? The first one. Oh, Christ. Now I'm trying to, goodness me. Now I've gone kind of blank because I'm
Is that
trying to explain it.
the introductory session? We're talking about the three Ps.
No, no, not that one, not
No,
the three
not that one.
Ps. It was the other one. From module one, I think. The overview or something. It was now, see, now
Psych,
I've kind of forgotten it,
the
hey?
psyche overview?
No, no, not that one.
No,
That's gone out of my head.
that's all right. Was it one of the
It'll come
videos
back.
from one of the modules?
Hey?
Was it one of the videos from module
Oh
one?
yeah, yeah, no, no. And then we had to you did a little exercise on your inner critic. And we had to close our eyes.
Ah, yes.
that one, and to see our inner critic and talk.
Yeah.
Um, I did that, but nothing really, like no emotion, nothing really comes up because I don't really feel like I've done a lot of work. So I did alchemy.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jodie Donche. I'm
Yeah.
busy.
I
I
know
did an
Jody.
alchemy, so I learned a lot about that, and I did a lot of work, a lot of crying, and all that stuff. Um, so now I feel that my inner critic, I feel like I've meshed with it. I still have like the fear of like showing up and things, but I've pushed
Mm.
myself that hard nicely that I don't feel any discord or anything.
I get that from your energy now at the start when you shared, like, I don't know where I am. You're like, but I don't have a problem with it. Like, I'm not scared. I'm not beating myself up
No,
about it. It makes sense. It sounds like you have maybe transcended the inner critic a little bit, or at least brought the inner critic along for the ride, where it's just like, all right,
yeah.
cool. This is how we are right now.
And I've done the acceptance and the talking and
Yeah,
yeah, so I think
that's
I
awesome.
feel sometimes I'm too mellow and I don't know why. And
Too
sometimes
mellow
I
for
think
what?
it's a problem or I'm not connected enough. I don't know.
Too mellow for what?
Oh, well now I don't like have I just seem to be happy and not have any when things happen, I'm very calm and I don't overreact and
Is that a
even
problem, or are you
well, it's not a
questioning as to
problem.
whether or not you're? Yeah, no.
It's not really a problem. It's just other people seem to be more I don't know. It affects them more, and
Yeah.
like family and partner. And when I'm on Zooms with other people, I don't know. I just seem to be very relaxed, and I'm not sure if that's if that's good.
I mean, can anyone
I'm
else in the
just
room, anyone else here like to be a bit more relaxed? Uh, Trudy's like, I'll have some, please. If you could just email me over a couple of servings of relax. Well,
no.
look, I mean, it's never really a problem, right? Like, is it if it's getting in the way of you achieving because you're like, oh, so mellow, this actually isn't a big deal. Oh, I actually don't really mind all that much if I don't achieve my dreams and don't get out there and get my
Oh,
business started. That's okay. I'll just be happy here. Do you know what I mean?
oh,
There is a chance where we can be a little bit too mellow, a little bit
I'm
marshmallow.
not that mellow, not like
Yeah.
that. No,
Yeah.
I want to be a coach. I want to get on with things. So yeah, there is I won't say a desperateness, but a real, and I won't say need. I'll say want.
Yeah. Good. A real desire.
Oh yeah, yeah. So. I think I just mean like things don't get to me like they used to.
Yeah.
Like I used to be really, really bad. I mean, I throw cordial on roofs. I was just a real mess.
Yeah.
Now it's like I'm totally the opposite that I just can't handle any of that. So I'm just totally changed.
Okay. Okay. Perfect comment that Chris just put in the comment there. And what you just reflected, I just like to gain a little bit more clarity on that. You said that like I can't handle that, so I've changed. Like I used to be in the chaos and I used to feel those sort of things, but I can't handle it
Oh,
anymore. So now I'm just mellow.
um,
Is the mellowness really deeply rooted, or is the mellowness become a self-protection mechanism because it's too much for you to be in chaos?
I don't know, but I don't feel like it's any protection mechanism. Yeah, I did have a lot of chaos and went through a lot of things, but so
Yeah.
now I hate confrontation. I just stay away from
Okay.
it, but I don't freak out about anything, but I just make, yeah, I'm just,
Yeah. So your language is giving me a great insight into your truth.
woo,
If you're happy for this, okay? Your
please
language
tell
is giving
me.
me into the insight that you have a wonderful dysfunction. You have created a brilliant coping mechanism. And the language comes through when you say, I hate conflict. All right.
Oh,
Because true growth would be standing in conflict and being okay. Conflict or no conflict, it's irrelevant. You're able to be in chaos or not be in chaos, and you're still calm within yourself. If the calmness and the mellowness has become an adaptive process of your mind brain body connection to keep you away from conflict, it's like, oh, just nothing really bothers me anymore. You know, you keep your chaos. I don't want that chaos. You know what I mean? I don't want that at all. Well, then it's not it's not true calmness. It's not true peace. It's a protection mechanism. All right. It's an adaptive strategy.
oh,
Now, it's not a bad adaptive strategy, all right, but it's still an adaptive strategy. And it's the same as I've gone through a lot of trauma, so now I'm going to go to the gym and I'm just going to train my ass off at the gym. Right? That's a pretty healthy and positive adaptive strategy. Does that make sense? But if the brain recognizes, hey, we can run this
mm,
strategy And we can avoid the hypertension within the brain and the hyperfiring of neurons by running this program called Cool, Calm, and Collected when everything comes our way. Then we don't have to get down into the depths of what's real and what's true. And even if you've been down into the depths through the alchemy course and you've cried and you've healed it all, there's still some work that we haven't done on the surface level. And that's evident in the language, like, oh, I hate conflict, so I just avoid it now. And I'm just really mellow now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What you have is a choice, though. And I want to let you
Yeah.
know this. You can choose whether or not you want this pattern to remain or whether or not you want this pattern to go. Does that make sense? And there's a
Yes,
payoff, there's pros and cons, there's benefits and consequences of that choice. Does that make sense?
it does.
Because if you hate conflict and the brain's like, nah, I hate conflict, what's going to happen when you go or try to put yourself in an experience where you're going to face inner conflict, but your brain is programmed to instantly mellow out and instantly put out any fires and instantly run a program called Cool, Calm, and Collected? You're going to avoid inner conflict. Does that make sense? Because your strategy right now is I'm calm, I'm peaceful. That's okay. Now nothing really affects me, or I hate conflict, I hate chaos. I'm just going to avoid that. I'm just going to be over here, and this feels really, really great.
Hmm.
So your brain's going to go like, all right, cool, this is successful. So let's make sure that she avoids any experience that's going to create inner conflict.
Totally get that. And now you've said that. Now I realize something. I think there is a fear that I'm missing out on feeling.
Isn't Yeah,
Yeah, uncertain feelings. Yeah.
yeah, a
Because there's probably still a bit of armor up.
little bit. I mean, it's good armor. It's better than the
Yeah.
armor of violence, or the armor of terror, or the armor of doubt, or the armor of losing your shit, or the armor of insert. Trudy's like feel seen right now, or the armor of insert whatever the program is that you run as a protection mechanism. What would be some of those feelings that you think you might be avoiding or you might not be facing?
Um, I don't know. But I do know that now I'll go back before alchemy, I was really guarded and I couldn't be vulnerable and I hated it.
Yeah,
And I was brought up to not be vulnerable and I thought it was really sappy and mushy to do that. But through alchemy, I've learned and I got there. I had to because it just, but I think still
yeah.
I am not. That's one thing with my coaching. I think I'm not sensitive or vulnerable enough to to actually coach. And I just don't seem to be able to
Okay. Can
be
I
vulnerable.
share? Can I potentially reflect back something to you and get you to try it on? Have you found vulnerability or have you found softness?
I don't know. I don't really. I do know that I cry a lot and I'm more emotional with
Yeah,
things. And when I hear
yeah,
stories from other people, I do
yeah,
get very emotional and sometimes I'll just weep and I'll think, whoa,
yeah.
why would that
How,
make me weep?
well, I would suggest that softness.
Okay.
I would suggest a lot of your energy, you have a very soft and calm energy. And I would suggest that, well, maybe, and I don't want to use this word suggest, sorry, what I can potentially see is that what you have learnt to deal with negative energy, to deal with chaos, to deal with conflict is to just immediately go into softness. Whereas like, oh, this feels soft and this feels cushy, and I feel like a bit of a marshmallow now, and that's okay. Very mellowed out now, very soft now. So whatever the emotions are, they just kind of roll into this softness. All right. But vulnerability, the difference between softness and vulnerability is comfortability, expressing and feeling all emotions publicly and privately. And if you don't feel comfortable being angry or getting angry or feeling tenseness at all, I don't like chaos, I hate conflict, that would share with me or let me know that it isn't true vulnerability that's been found. It's just softness as a bit of a shield and deflection, as an armor. Does that make sense? I'm so
Hmm.
soft that things will hit me. And instead of hitting me hard, it just kind of like absorbs into this soft wave of energy where I feel okay about everything.
Okay.
Does that feel accurate? Does it sound accurate? What's your reflections on it? 'Cause I'm not telling you what you are. I'm
Oh, I know.
just
I'm just
sharing with you
trying
what's
to
reflected.
get it all
Yeah.
in and understand exactly. So I'm a little confused about you say that because I find I can be vulnerable in certain times and places, and then sometimes it shuts off and I can't.
Okay.
Like, for instance, the social media where I need to put myself out there, get a following because I'm helping
Hmm.
women and I have to let them know my story, and sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. And then I feel, I don't know,
Why do you have to let them know your story?
that's, like you said because I did the coaching at TCI and all that coaching, and that this is what they tell you. And if you want to get your audience, they need to know more about you so they can relate. So
Look, there's a
I
level
think
of truth to that.
hey,
There's definitely a level of truth to that.
hmm.
Have you shared your story yet?
Bits and pieces, not the whole, because I actually forgot a lot of it, and I had started my story from gaining confidence, but then I never really said why and how I did it. Something
Yeah.
happened that caused it, but I never really went into that. And then I thought, maybe I'm not telling my full story.
How confident are you when it comes to showing up on social media? If I was to say, hey, pull up your if Instagram or your Facebook right now and do a live, would you do it? I'm not challenging you and telling you to do this.
Mm,
I'm just
mm.
curious. I just want to find out where you're at when it comes
Um,
to your level of confidence.
Probably not. I do a lot of recorded ones, and then
Okay,
I just
so
put them up without looking at them
okay,
sometimes.
okay. Can I hold up a mirror of integrity that might not feel very good? Can I hold up a mirror of truth that might potentially be a little bit of a kick up the bum? But sometimes, and this is going to come from absolute love, it's the kick up the
Yeah,
bum that sometimes we need to see.
that's why I'm here.
Are you sure?
Well, don't say it like that.
So you're here to coach women to be more confident, right?
To get their identity, to yeah, reclaim their identity, because I had to go through all that. So I'm doing it from lived experience.
Okay, and as
So
part
yeah.
of that identity, reclaiming their identity, are they going to be more confident to show up in the way that they want to show up?
In what context? How are you asking me? I mean, if I
I
if
mean,
I'm
part of
coaching them, will
helping
I
these women reclaim their identity is part of what you're going to help them do, feel more confident within themselves to show up in their life in all of the areas of their
and
life
their
that they feel they want to
self-worth,
show up on
yes.
within their self-worth. Okay. Are you doing that currently?
Am I practicing that myself, you
Are
mean?
you currently living in those values?
Most of them, and being authentic, that's a really big thing, and I'm still trying to do it. I'm much better than I was.
Okay.
Very,
Okay.
I will say what's on my mind in a nice way, and if I don't want to do something, I will say. Or I used to be a devotee to people pleasing, really
Okay.
bad.
What about when it comes to you showing up online and showing up in a way that's going to call these women into your world for they to see you, for them to see you as an authority in that space, to then start to follow you and see you as someone, well, if she's doing it, I can do it too. If she's doing it, she's living in all the ways that she says she's going to help me live it. So as a natural consequence, I want to follow her leadership. Is that happening on your social media?
I honestly don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I know how to do it properly yet.
Okay. Is it, and you're knowing how, is it a knowledge, is it a systems thing? Is it, I don't know exactly what to post and where to post? I don't know how frequently I should be posting. Is
No,
it,
no, it's from an inner.
okay.
Like,
So would it be fair to say that there's a level of incongruency between the message you want to put out and the message you're giving to yourself?
most probably, yeah.
Okay. So everything else is irrelevant. If you're a confidence coach, and I know it's like empowering reclaiming identity, right? But if one of the things you're helping people do or helping women do is feel more confident and show up as they are in their confident self, but you're not feeling more confident and you're not showing up in your confident self at
Yes.
this stage in your career, where's the congruency within that? It's like a marketing coach who has shitty marketing, or a sales coach who can't make a sale, or a relationship coach from someone who has no idea about relationships, or a parenting coach who doesn't have kids. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I know there's gaps,
yeah.
and I've tried for years in different programs and things, and I've just haven't. I've progressed in a lot of ways, but not in the
Mhm.
way that I need to.
Okay, and what is the way that you think that you need to?
Um, hmm, it's so hard to put it into words. I think I need to be, I don't know, I need to be able to express self-expression a lot more because I can
Okay.
get like self-conscious. That is the thing. And I do
Yeah.
know I'm incongruent with the way, because I'm not portraying how I feel out there.
Okay.
I think there could be, I'm a lot better. There's a little bit of judgment still there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you judging?
No, I think other people will judge me, like think, oh, she's too, like,
She's too what?
I, s-
Just stick
like
with
I've
me.
got,
She's too what?
I don't know, like that. I think, oh, like, I
I
don't
need you
want to
to
follow
articulate
her,
it.
or she's too, yeah, because I've got a lot of school friends
Yeah.
and other people, a lot of network people, and I thought, no, I can't be sharing all this when there's all my male friends and all school friends.
Okay.
They don't know these stories.
Yeah.
Um, and I felt really, I suppose, exposed, and I didn't want other people to know that, or they think, oh, she's just not that it really matters. And I know that I'm doing things, it's not for me, it's for them. It's not about
Yeah.
me.
Okay. What's happening right now in your
I know
brain is
I'm dancing. I know I am.
you're
I'm going
so
from here
close
to
to
here.
saying you're so close to
I
saying the
am.
words that you're afraid of saying. So your brain is finding really creative ways to not say it.
I'm
Does
very
that
good
make
at
sense? Because as soon
that.
as you speak it out, you can't hide from it anymore. And your system knows that, and that's okay.
Do you know what I want to say? It sounds
100%, but
like
it's
you
not up to
do.
me. 100, it's not up to me to say. It's not
You
up to
have.
me to bring this out. I,
Okay.
I know I know
You
exactly what it
do.
is, but it's not up
Happy
to
to
me to
help.
bring this out. So I'm going to help you do it. All
All
right.
right.
And it's going to be frustrating, uncomfortable. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be love and light. Who knows? But
Okay.
it's interesting. And I'm going to point some things out. At the start of this conversation, you said you had no problem being vulnerable and speaking your mind. Yet when we get down to another layer of truth right here, you're afraid of being vulnerable because you're
Oh,
worried about
yeah.
what other people might judge. So we're going to I'm going to ask you a question again. And I don't want you to say, I don't know. And I'm
Okay.
going to keep letting you know if a story is running. And I want you to just sit in the silence, sometimes the uncomfortable silence, if there is silence, until this one word comes out. All right, this one little phrase or statement comes out. Okay. So are you okay to do this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
awesome.
inquisitive here. Very.
So you said something before, they're going to think I'm too. And then your brain went like
Yeah.
blah. And then you went off on these other little stories and things. They're going to think you're
Okay.
too what?
No, I think I'm going to turn off my friends. They're going to not want to know me because they've known me a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they see this softer, vulnerable, more, I don't know, the softer, more compassionate side, I think,
Yeah.
sharing my story,
Yeah.
yeah,
So the
that,
story that's actually running here is vulnerability is a threat. Vulnerability is dangerous. If I am
oh,
vulnerable and
yeah,
share what's real and true for me, my friends will leave. My family will
yes,
leave, right? Like
yeah,
abandon, reject, those sort of things. So what that actually tells me is that the deeper story here is that vulnerability isn't safe.
that's true. But I want to be vulnerable.
Well, we can
Yeah.
want it all we want, right? But it's if the part of us has a stronger fear than the part of us that desires to put it out there, whichever one has more stacked evidence, whichever one is stronger, that's what's going to take over the show. So it's great that there are parts of you, and this is parts, right? And this is what we're going to tie this back into conflict. It's great that there's like a part of you that's going, yeah, but no, I want to be more vulnerable. I know that's going to help inspire the right people. And I know that if people choose not to follow me or choose to have an opinion of me, I know it doesn't matter. I want to
Hmm.
be more vulnerable and show people that vulnerability is okay, so I can help people step into their vulnerability and be more confident and reclaim their identity. So that's the narrative of one part. And then there's this deeper part that's gone, whoa, 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 whoa. But if we're vulnerable, our friends will leave. What will they think about us? We don't know what they'll think about us. So let's run 1,000 different narratives from these school friends that have known me a certain way, and now they're going to see me being this other way, and it might remove me from the safety of the herd. So can you see that what you have is conflict? One part of you wants to
Oh,
say
yeah,
yes, another part of you is trying to say no. All right? Does it make sense?
it
Now,
does.
when there is internal conflict, what happens was that when there's an overarching story that says, I hate conflict,
Ah, well, that one takes over, doesn't it?
Can you see where we're trapped?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's like my brain's got pigeonholes.
Yeah,
Uh,
literally, yeah.
yeah.
So if your story, the biggest thing that you've learned due to time and space is that chaos sucks, conflict is stuff. I don't like conflict. So now I've got this nice soft personality, which allows me to bounce away from conflict and just have it all kind of be in this soft, flowy, nothing really bothers me state. How easy do you think it's going to be for your brain to find the answers and the narratives that are actually in the way? If your brain knows that, hang on a sec, if we find that answer or if we pull on that thread, all of a sudden the softness won't protect us anymore because we'll be in internal conflict. So the softness has protected you from the outside world, but the softness has also protected you from accessing what you need to in your inner world. And the stories and how it runs up is like, I don't know, I'm not too sure. I had all the answers before, but now you've put me on the spot. Or there could be a little bit of conflict. I'm not too sure right now, Josh. I'm okay about it. I'm totally fine in this space though, but that's okay.
I sound crazy.
You don't sound crazy. You just sound like someone who's fighting internal conflict. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah.
So, how do we solve conflict? And I get for the people who have done BYOC a little bit more, just hang off on the chat for a little bit. How do we solve conflict, young Kylie Williams?
Oh, we reframe.
Well, reframe's a part of it. What else do we do?
Okay. Um,
What do we need in order to solve conflict?
okay. Um,
What would you do if your two children, if you had your two grandbabies and they come into the room and they're like, and they just started fighting and being in conflict with each other? What would you say to them?
I'd tell them to stop, then I'd explain why.
Okay. What else would you do?
Uh, well, I make sure that they were okay and they understand that it's they have a choice, but it's
Yeah. Hmm. What about if one of your grandbabies came up to you at 9 p.m. at night and came in the office and said, Granny, I'm not sure what they call you, Grammy, Grandma,
no,
Nan,
no.
whatever it is, Nana, Nana, I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, it's dark in my room and I'm scared. What would you say to them? How
Well,
would you handle that situation?
I would take them in there and look after them until they fell asleep or explain to them.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So what energy would you bring to that?
Compassion?
Love,
Yeah,
caring,
lots of that.
nurturing,
Yeah.
compassion. Yeah. What else would you bring to that?
Nurturing?
Yeah. Yeah. Would you bring a little bit of authority and leadership into that space?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Well, I
Through nurture,
am.
through compassion. But yeah, you would bring authority and leadership. You take them back in there and say, hey, it's okay. Maybe turn on the lights and show them underneath the bed. And you would lead in that situation, wouldn't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why would you lead in that situation and why wouldn't your scared child lead in that situation?
Can you repeat that again?
Why would you
Um,
lead that situation and not allow your child to lead that situation? Your grandchild.
I'll let them lead the situation
No, why would you take over in the authority and leadership space and not allow the child to lead that situation?
because they were feeling vulnerable and upset and scared, and they needed me to be there
Yeah,
for them.
yeah, you're exactly right. And you weren't in that situation. You weren't the one that was scared. Does that make
No.
sense? So right now, what's happening inside of you is you have a part of you that's scared. It's scared of the dark. It's scared of rejection. It's scared of judgment. It's
No.
afraid, and it's learned a coping mechanism of let me run program softness. Because if I run program softness, I can keep me safe. That's equivalent to a child going, I'm never sleeping in the dark again. Let me now sleep with all the lights on in the
Oh,
house. It's a
right.
strategy and it's effective to a point because the child's not going to be scared of the dark. But the only reason a child's not going to be scared of the dark is because the child has removed the darkness. With you, why this strategy is effective is not because you've been able to handle conflict, it's because you've removed conflict. Does that make sense?
It does. Hmm.
So that's kind of like the intellectualization behind it. Does that make sense to everyone else here in the room? Yeah,
Okay.
can you guys kind of see how that throws up? Yeah. Mm. All right. Would you like to let go of this pattern?
Excuse me?
Would you like to let go of this pattern?
Yeah, I would actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because I feel like it's holding me back.
Okay.
I
Holding you
know
back from
there's
what?
something that's always, I do have a wall there and I just don't really know what it is.
Yep. Okay. What is it holding you back from?
Fully being me, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. From you? Okay. Have you got your notepad and pen handy?
Yeah,
Yep.
always. Yep.
All right. So what we've just done, guys, is we've now identified the loop. We've gone through compassionate observer and curious detective. So there's separate and investigate. All right. And we've now really figured out what the parts are. Right. We've got internal conflict. And in every situation, guys, every challenge, the only reason it's a challenge is because you have internal conflict. Right. So what we've done is we've just gone compassionate observer, super curious detective. And now we're kind of like,
Hmm.
okay, I identify the loop. And not just the surface level loop, but what's the loop that sits beneath the loop? And then what's the loop that sits beneath that loop? Does that make sense? So, and again, guys, Kylie, Valerie, Jess, you guys are, and even Trudy to a point, you guys are new to the process. So as you continue on and as you kind of do more of these, and especially when we start doing breakout rooms and some of the later sessions, where there's a lot more of you guys coaching each other and working through each other on the psyche method, this becomes a really simple process. Like right now, and Chris is a prime example of this. He can have a challenge comes up and he's just like, boom, gets out his notepad and pen, goes, do, what's the loop? What's the situation? What's my trigger? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's the other one? What's this? What's this? What's this? Marry him up, let's go. And he's just action taken left, right, center. Right? He's graduated the program, he's done all the work. So you guys are in a really, really great stage, everyone else in this room, where it's like, okay, we get to see a bit of a live demonstration of how this works. All right. First thing we have to uncover, which we have, is what is the loop? What is the surface level loop? And then what's the loop that's sitting beneath the loop? All right. And now we know. So you said and you mentioned that you're really ready to let this go. Okay. So the first thing that I want you to write down is I want you to write down, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to let this go.
Yep.
And then I want you to write so I can achieve, and then write down or so I can do, or so I can be. What is the thing that you want to do?
What's the thing I want to do?
Yeah. So you're going to let go of this story, and now letting go of this story, what is the story preventing you from doing?
Oh, being fully me, I think.
Okay, that's good, but can we get a bit more specific? What's the actual task? I mean, being fully you, which is great, but that's a very generic blanket
Oh,
statement.
it is,
Let's
yes.
hone in and get a little bit.
Okay. So I can be, I suppose, congruent to myself and
Okay, that's pretty good.
be
So write that
vulnerable
down.
to just if I feel like posting and being compassionate and because a lot of times I think about it, then I stop. I do that a
Okay.
lot.
Okay, so I can be more congruent with myself and start posting regular content on social media. To me, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. Because I just want to
Yeah.
be that kind of coach and I want to start doing it.
Yeah. Cool. So write that down.
Okay.
To be more congruent with myself and start posting consistently on social media.
Be more. Yeah.
Sounds good? Okay, now let's fast forward. Okay, let's play a little game. Okay, I want you to grab your telephone ready, which is your little finger hand telephone, just here. Okay, in just a moment, I'm going to call you. And when I
Oh,
call you,
oh
okay, I want you to pick up
no.
the phone and I want you to say to me, holy shit, Josh,
Okay.
it's been 3 years and something amazing has happened. Okay. I want you
Okay.
to practice those words to me. Okay. So, holy shit, Josh,
Holy shit, Josh.
it's been 3 years
It's been 3 years
and my life is amazing.
and my life is so amazing.
Okay. You ready? I'm about to dial.
Okay.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello.
Hey, Kylie,
Hey, Josh.
what are you supposed to say to me?
Oh, I thought you might have. Okay, no banter.
No
Okay,
banter.
all right.
Holy shit, Josh.
Holy shit, Josh. It's been 3 whole years,
And my
um,
life is amazing.
and my life is so amazing right now.
Kylie, that's wonderful. Tell me, why is your life so amazing right now?
Well, because now I am got my coaching business going. It's running really, really well. I have
That's so
lots
good.
of women that I am helping, and now I'm being so congruent and I'm doing speaking engagements. Life is just fantastic.
Holy hell, Kylie, that's phenomenal. How do you feel?
Incredible.
Incredible.
Extremely happy, extremely thankful and lucky and yeah.
And tell me, where do you feel that in your body?
Ah, in my chest and my
Feel that
shoulder.
in your chest? Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Can you just put the phone a little closer to your ear? I can't hear you properly. There we go. Thank you. So take me back because 3 years, that's amazing. Take me back 3 years ago.
Ah,
What was the thing that you had to overcome in order to be here?
oh, I had to overcome myself, I would say.
Yeah.
My I had so many gaps, so many rigid ideas, and I was so I couldn't be vulnerable. I couldn't post. I felt
Mm,
so insecure and um yeah, I mean, I wanted to teach women to reclaim their identity, to restore their self-worth, and to revive their aliveness and purpose. And I wasn't doing it, and now I am.
wow. That sounds amazing. That's so wild. What did you have to do to start reclaiming your own identity and start reclaiming your own aliveness? What did you actually do?
So what did I do or what do I do?
What did you actually do all the way back then 3 years ago for you to reclaim your identity and reclaim your own aliveness? What did you do?
Oh, what did I do 3 years ago?
Mhm.
Well, to be honest, I joined your BYOC, which totally flipped the switch, switched everything, and doing all the brain work and the looping, which I remember that time that you helped me. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
wow. So what changed? How come you all of a sudden went from being too scared to post on social media to then all of a sudden starting to post regularly, which kickstarted it all? What changed?
I learned about myself. I learned who I am and I learned how to fix things. And when I'm in a loop, I learned how, like, the Curious
Mm,
Detective, I just learned
yeah,
how to get through it and how to ask questions and be
yeah,
compassionate with myself
that's
and then
pretty
I was
awesome.
able to share that with other people. And knowing that
Wow,
myself, I could coach other people the way that I wanted to, that I couldn't before.
that's
So,
awesome. What was your first post? What was that first post that you put out there that just changed the whole game? What was the first thing that you shared after you did Josh's program?
oh, I think I started in 3 parts doing my story right from the beginning. It was kind of like, hey guys, I really need to start being congruent and honest, and I just shared the first part of my story.
Yeah,
And
wow.
I let it out, and I actually did it on video. Could you believe that? I did on video. And I think that really got to people a lot more than me
Yeah,
just doing posts like I do. And to be honest, back then, my posts were more like, they were good, but I think they were more like, I'm just telling you something, you know. So it wasn't really
really sharing
maybe
something.
getting to anybody.
Yeah.
So now
All
it's
right.
really different.
That's amazing. So we're just going to pause this phone call, grab out your notepad and pen, and write down 3-part video miniseries.
Uh, Pardon? Oh, the three
Write
part.
down 3-part video series. So tell my story in 3 parts in 3 videos.
Yeah.
Guys, can you see how I extracted her next steps and what it is that she needs to do here? By reverse engineering the ideal future that Kylie wanted and then taking it all the way back to the start. And you remember earlier on when I asked her what she thinks she needs to do, she's like, I have no idea. I don't understand what it is. So hijacked the brain's now moment and created a future
Right.
scenario based on what is it she wanted, and then got the brain itself to reverse engineer what the brain always knows it needs to do. Just won't allow us to access what it needs to do because of the fear and the narratives that are getting in the way. Mm, cool. All right, pick up the phone again. Quick, we're still
Oh,
going.
okay. Yeah. You just got me thinking then. This is great.
All right, wow. So three-part video series. Okay, that's pretty cool. What was your next thing? Once you created your 3 videos and you started getting some interest, what was the next thing that you did to start to inspire your audience?
Oh, what did I do? I've done so much. I've got to think back now. Um, what did I do? Oh, once I started getting people were starting to relate, sending me stories about how they related. I kept doing more videos, and then I
Okay.
actually did interactive videos where I wanted people to engage.
Hmm.
And I think I'm just trying to think back. I think I did a webinar, and I actually got people to. I was telling my story, and then I got people to actually interact with me, and so they were
Hmm.
involved, and that
So it
really took
sounds
off.
so it sounds like your social media was less about look at how much knowledge I have and more about providing a space where it was safe and people wanted to share their stories and share their experiences.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds amazing. All right, quickly put the phone down. Write down. After my 3-part video series, invite my audience to share their story with me. FYI, people love talking about themselves. So if you take this route
Oh, they
as a
do.
way to build an audience and you just have patience for the amount of stories that
Yeah,
you'll hear from people, then you'll start to build a lot of know, like, and trust within your audience. They'll start to see that it's safe. And when they share their story, you can start to look for the different ways that they're not showing up or they're not confident or whatever else it is. And you'll be able to start finding out if the people that are sharing this with you are your ideal audience or not. Does that make sense?
it
And I
does. Yeah.
guarantee you when people are sharing their stories, you'll be able to relate to them emotionally and vulnerably. And then as a result of that, you'll be able to invite them to come into your world and start doing some coaching. Okay, so we've got a 3-part mini video series where you share your story in 3 parts. No worries at all, Trudy. Trudy, next week when you come on, did you want to go first for a question or something along those lines? See how you're at? Yeah, cool. Yeah, just send me a DM. We'll get it sorted. Cool. And everyone else, thank you for your patience with us having time here for Kylie too. Appreciate that. So 3-part video series. So where you introduce your story in 3 parts. What I would suggest is in the meantime or in between that, also do some content where you just directly ask people to share their story with you. So at the end of your stories, at the end of your videos, have a call to action, if you will. But all you're
Okay.
doing is asking people to DM you their story, to share your story with them.
You mean this story with me or?
Yeah, with you.
Yeah, right. I've done that. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Cool. So we got 2 action steps now. They're going to
So
start
that's in
to
between, right?
yeah, just in between and around. Yeah.
Three part. Yep.
Yep. So I'd look at doing your video story, your 3-part video series on say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then on the Tuesday, you could share a post where it's like, "Hey guys, yesterday I showed the first part of my, story in a video. If you haven't checked it out, go and check it out already." But I just wanted to highlight one of the things that I mentioned because I think it's really, really important to unpack that a little bit deeper and do this in a written post. You know what I mean? And say, one of the things I shared about for those of you who didn't watch it was I shared that, XYZ. And what I learned from that experience was, and then insert the wisdom of the lesson. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. And then at that post, say, okay, gonna, dropping part 2 tomorrow or on Wednesday. And then do part 2 and then do the same thing. And then on the Thursday, go, hey, so I shared part 2 yesterday. If you hadn't checked it out yet, go back and scroll up and have a look at part 1 and part 2. I've got part 3 coming tomorrow. However, there's a bit of a theme of this story. One of the biggest things I didn't share in my last 2 videos was this insert key piece of wisdom here. Right. This was actually the biggest thing that really helped me overcome it. I didn't realize it straight away. It wasn't until years on later down the track, after I got a coach and after I did some training and after I started to learn, that I really saw the truth of what's going on. And that's what really drives us. It's not what we think, it's what's happening deeper down below the surface that's been driving all of our decisions. Is your life looking potentially like you haven't been in the driver's seat no matter how much you've wanted to? Stick around. I'm doing part 3 tomorrow, and I'm really going to cover this last element of my story. Just something along those lines, just to kind of ad lib it, and then do part 3 on the Friday. So
That was great. I
those are
wish
your
I'd
action
written all that
steps.
down.
What was that? That's all right. It's recorded. You can go back through there and watch it again.
Okay.
So those are your action steps. All right.
I
Share your
guess
story
I will.
in 3
Yeah.
parts, and then share kind of like the reflections in the middle, and again, go back and watch the replay of this to be able to, recant what I said. And that is your next immediate action step. Okay. Now, what that is going to create is that is going to create conflict. So, why is it going to create conflict? Because if I do it, I'm vulnerable. And right now, I'm talking to the part of you that's like, yeah, actually, I really want to do this. But off this call, when you start recording it, guess which part of you is going to come out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the actual story that we need to work on here is I hate conflict, because conflict is seen as a threat. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
So
So,
that's the loop. All right. So, and I'm gonna trust that you can do this within your own space and within your own self to work through the story, the belief, the value, the identity, and all those sort of things. However, I'm going to give you a quick rundown here. Um, if you have the story, I hate conflict, what do you believe about conflict?
it's painful and confronting.
Okay. So
And
write this down. Okay. On one side of your page or somewhere on your page, I hate conflict. That's the story.
yeah,
The belief is it's painful and confronting. That's what you believe about conflict. If that's what you believe about conflict, what do you believe about yourself and your ability to handle conflict?
do I write that down, what I believe?
I'm asking you now. What do you believe about your ability to handle conflict, to deal with, to be in conflict? You've got it's confronting and it's painful. Why is it
Yeah.
confronting and painful?
Probably from previous. That's what it is. It's the previous stories, and they
Yeah.
keep coming back, the memories and the feelings, and because I
Yeah.
actually felt quite yuck, and I get terrible feelings. Even if
Yeah.
I see a fight on the street or anything, I get
Yeah.
in
What
the
was conflict
stomach.
like for
It's
you as a
horrid.
child?
Um, I'm not too bad as a child, really. I don't really
Yeah. Okay.
have many. I was an only child till I was 12, so
Yeah.
I had to deal with that. I did a lot of people pleasing back then as well.
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
always the good child, and I loved being the good child.
Mm.
Um, as a teen, there was a lot of conflict, and I saw quite some nasty stuff in front of me, and I think just conflict is just, yeah. Even thinking about it's quite, just do not like it. It's just brings
Yeah.
back body sensations. If it was just, like I've learnt where you never forget what you went through, but you can
Yeah.
detach the feelings from it.
Yeah. You can.
I don't seem to have done that. And I think that's why I just don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't alchemized and released the feelings, then anytime there's any experience that could trigger the feelings, you're just going to avoid the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, because the
So
feelings they come up instantly.
yeah, Jess is like relatable. I run awesome avoidance strategies. I don't want to deal with conflict, so I'm just going to run a massive avoidance strategy and create an environment where there is no conflict, right?
Yeah.
But conflict is necessary. It's a necessary part of life. Conflict
Hmm.
doesn't always mean like conflict is just conflicting ideas. That's all it is,
Yeah.
conflicting experiences. It doesn't
Hmm.
always mean violence. It doesn't always mean pain and shame. Does that make sense? How do you think I coach you guys and help you guys grow? What do I create? Conflict.
Yeah, but it's weird I accept that. Yeah, it's a different situation
Why do you accept it? Why do you
because I
accept
want
conflict when
it.
I create it within you?
I don't know. Because I know you can help me, and yeah,
You trust me?
yes.
And because you trust me, it's easy for you to allow yourself to be in vulnerable, conflicting situations with me, knowing that I have your best interests at heart,
Yeah, absolutely.
knowing that I won't cause harm.
Mm.
Do you know that about yourself?
Now, do you mean that I won't cause harm?
That you won't cause harm to yourself when you're moving through your own inner conflict. So
No.
I think we've just found the opposite story now, which is great. We haven't even gone through the other blueprint yet, and we've started to find your empowering blueprint. This is great. This is how it works
It
sometimes,
is,
right?
yeah,
This
yeah,
is how it
yeah.
works sometimes. So that's good. So I want you to write down what was the old one. I hate conflict. Okay. I want you to write down new story next to it or beside it or underneath it or something. New story is I trust myself in conflict. Because ultimately, conflict's not a dirty word. It's
No,
necessary. It's the only
no.
way anything ever happens, right? It's the only way growth happens. Without conflict, we're just robots. We're just following commands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, okay, good. I trust myself in conflict. Okay, now what do we get to? We got up to belief on the other side. So if the story is running, I trust myself in conflict. What do you then believe about conflict?
That's not a bad thing.
It's not about
It's
that
a
conflict isn't bad.
necessary thing.
Conflict isn't bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good belief. Conflict isn't a bad thing.
I write that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good belief system to instill within yourself, especially considering you're going to be stepping up into a space of leadership when you start coaching.
Mm. Yeah.
Conflict isn't a bad thing. All right. So, and what's great here, guys, and what we can sometimes do is sometimes you don't fully need to unpack the quote unquote bad or the old blueprint. If you sort of get it, it's like, oh, that's the story and that's the belief. Okay, well, I mean, what were the old values? Just for shits and giggles. What were the old things that you placed importance on when there was conflict coming? Avoidance was one of them, right?
Yes. Avoid
I
it.
would
Just get
value
out of it.
softness and avoidance. Yeah, straight away. So in the old values, write down old values, avoidance. What else was important to you?
Avoidance.
Disassociation.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, yeah,
Disassociate.
yeah.
Um,
What else? If you're trying
and
to avoid
sometimes I think
conflict,
it
what is
was
important? Yeah,
in some of them. I think it was also, how they say, ignorance is bliss.
yeah, yeah. Ignorance and passivity. Yeah, or pacificity. Sorry.
Um, avoidance, associate, ignorance.
Yeah, that's good. That's some pretty cool
Yeah.
values. I mean,
Hmm.
when you think about it, it makes sense. If I don't like conflict and I look at that list of values, I'm like, yeah, well, I know if I take actions based off those values, I will 100%
Yeah.
avoid it. Perfect. Well done, values. You've done your job.
So
Okay, and then
that's
what was and that
what
was your
is
old
it?
values. Yeah.
The fight or flight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
100%. And you wouldn't fight. So you and we'll get to the threat response soon. Okay, first of all, we're
Okay.
just going to roll through this. So what was the identity that you would step into? When you would run that old avoidance pattern and you had that story going, that running conflict, what was the identity? I'm just, what would you say to yourself? Oh, it just doesn't bother me.
When I avoid,
When you would run that avoidance strategy, what's the identity that it created? Because there's a couple.
yeah, my identity then probably would have been of scarcity.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
Um,
look at something a little bit more tangible. Let's apply this to your coaching business.
right.
If you were to tell people with real honesty where you're at within your coaching business, what would you say?
I mean, right now,
Yeah, when you avoid conflict. Yeah, right now.
what would I say? What would I tell them? I was
Yeah,
in.
what would you if 100% honesty and accountability was the only truth that you were allowed to speak, how would you identify as a coach? Would you say you're a successful coach? Would you say you're a startup coach?
No.
Would you say I'm
No,
trying to be a coach?
oh.
It's the
When you
yucky,
say that,
uncomfortable
I know I've got to
ones.
use proper language. Um, Well, I say I'm not being congruent. I'm not being true to myself or you. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's good. That's a
speaking
good
my
identifier.
truth.
I
Yeah,
am not being congruent. That's a great identity statement.
yeah,
I am not congruent. If I could be completely honest with myself, I'm not congruent. That there is an identity. So write that down.
yeah,
The identity that that creates is I am not congruent.
yeah.
Make sense? Now we go one level deeper and we have a look at the threat response. Okay. So you said it before, right? Your fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. What is it? Is this seen as when you run this story, is the situation you're moving through a threat or an opportunity? How
Now
does your
I'd
brain
say
perceive that information?
opportunity, but
Yeah.
before it was a threat.
Okay. So write down under that old pattern, write down threat. So that's how your brain's perceiving that information. It's receiving this as a threat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it
Okay,
does.
now what level of motivation is running this pattern? Are you, when this pattern runs and this loop runs and this story runs, is it survival? Is it carrot and stick or reward and punishment? Or is it in intrinsic motivation?
I think it's survival.
100%. I hate
Yeah.
conflict. It's a 100% survival pattern. So write down motivation, survival. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, next week we're doing needs and boundaries. So we won't put on the next thing just yet because our next live session, we unpack the 6 core needs of the human condition where we'll add it
Okay.
on there. But I want you to leave space underneath this pattern because we're going to map out this entire pattern for you next week, right? There's only 2 more pieces of the puzzle. And I really want to make sure it lands and it makes sense. So we won't go through it just yet. But what you've just identified, what we've identified in this conversation, and thank you everyone for your patience, is the
Mm.
loop, the blueprint, the threat response, and the level of motivation it's operating out of. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the other side now and finish off the other side. What's the new story, the new blueprint you're going to create? What did we write down there again?
The new story.
Yep.
Okay, where are we? I trust myself in conflict.
Bam. Okay, and what was the belief system?
What
What did we
was
write down for the
that
belief?
down?
Conflict isn't a bad thing. Conflict is a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay, cool. So now we do the
I
values. So
don't
what
have
is
the values.
if the belief, oh sorry, if the story is I trust myself in conflict and the belief is conflict isn't a bad thing, what are you going to place importance on now? What's going to be the new value, the new thing that you value?
Being congruent.
Yeah, congruency, 100%. So write down congruency. That's massive. You'll have to value it. Otherwise, the belief isn't true and the story is nonsense. So that's
Hmm.
100% right.
Being
Okay, what else?
congruent.
What else are you going to value? And this is a big one. This is usually an aha moment for people. If you
Okay, what am
trust
I going
yourself
to?
in conflict and you believe conflict isn't a bad
All
thing
right.
and you're
Being
going to be
congruent.
congruent, what else will you value? What else will you start valuing and moving towards?
Oh, crikeys. Um, truth.
Conflict.
Oh,
You'll start to value
yeah.
conflict.
Okay.
Get
Yeah,
it? Does it make sense? Because
it
I trust
does.
myself
Yeah.
in conflict. Conflict isn't a bad thing. I'm going to be congruent with my word. I now actually value the very conflict that I used to avoid. I used to value avoidance. Now give me more conflict. I trust myself in conflict, right? Bring it on. So
Yeah.
now instead of
Has
with
to.
this blueprint, instead of looking for ways to avoid conflict, you're going to take actions that will create healthy conflict. In this instance, you'll stop avoiding social media because it's going to trigger inner conflict, and you'll start taking actions moving towards posting on social media because you're valuing congruency and you're valuing conflict. All right? Because conflict isn't a bad thing because I trust myself in conflict. Does that make sense?
It does.
And I
Yes.
just had a little moment there. She's like, I see that. Okay, so what's the identity? Who do you step into then?
Oh, sometimes I feel like these are trick questions. What do
It's
I
not at
step
all.
into? No, it's not. But what I
No.
just step into my congruency,
Well, the identity
my
sounds like an
truth.
empowered
Yeah.
coach. I'm an empowered woman.
Yeah, indeed.
What, think about it. It makes sense, right?
Yeah,
If we're now stepping into leaning into the very conflict we used to avoid because we're congruent with our word, because conflict isn't a bad thing, because I trust myself in conflict. Does that sound empowered?
definitely.
So it almost sounds like you get to step into the reclaimed version of your identity that you're going to be helping these other women step into their version of it. So
So
that's actually the identity of the
yeah.
reclaimed woman.
So I haven't actually completely stepped into my own.
No, and and literally
That's
that is the only reason why you're not coaching it yet.
that's why I couldn't
Soon
move.
as exactly, yes. As soon as you step into the
Oh.
identity, you become the embodiment and people see it and they follow you. You guys, why did you choose me of the thousands of other coaches that post out there? You guys could have chose anyone, but you didn't. Because I'm the
Mm.
embodiment of the identity I claim, and I'm the embodiment of the identity that you want to have. Someone who coaches himself through his own shit, someone who leads himself through his own crap, someone who doesn't let fear get in his own way, someone who's been through the fucking ringer and has somehow come up on top, someone who focuses on all of these amazing things, right? Like when you step into this identity of the reclaimed woman, and what I want you to do is all of your blueprints, the identity you're going to step into, that's now your blanket identity. Every positive blueprint that you work through every single time you get to an I am statement or an identity statement at anywhere in your coaching career, it's going to be I am the reclaimed woman. That's why I do this, because that's the identity I'm stepping into.
I
I'm
love
setting a
that.
boundary with my family. They're not coming in anymore because I am the reclaimed woman. I am reclaiming my identity. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah, definitely.
So that's the
Wow.
I am stat. That's your identifier. That's the identity, right? Now, that's the blueprint. Next is the brain, a threat or opportunity. Is this going to be a threat or an opportunity? How's the brain going to process this
It's
information through
going
the
to be an
hierarchy?
opportunity.
Freaking mother trucking opportunity
Yeah.
right here, right? Okay, so now let's look at the next level beneath it. Our motivation. Is this going to be survival? Is this going to be a carrot and stick reward and punishment, or is this going to be an intrinsic aligned motivator?
Intrinsic alliance motivator.
Intrinsic aligned is your level of
Yep.
motivation,
Okay.
which means I don't need to be paid to do this. I don't need to be hit with a stick to do this. I don't need to do this for a reward. I am doing this because being the reclaimed woman is my intrinsic motivator. I will do this in every single area of my life. Intrinsically, this is who I'm becoming. This is who I am.
Hmm.
So what you should have next to you is two blueprints, one for the old and one for the new. So guess what you get to do now?
Be me.
It doesn't matter if you forget or if you're like, oh, I don't understand. I don't know what the story is. I can't seem to get it right now because you can go, I wrote that down. Let me look. There it is. Is what I'm
Hmm.
experiencing right now similar to the old blueprint? Yes, it is. What do I have to do? What's the command structure of this brain? All right. What do I have to do to run this program? Tell myself this story. Okay. I am. You know what? I trust myself in conflict. I trust myself in conflict. I trust myself in conflict. Okay, because I believe conflict isn't a bad thing because I'm congruent with my word. Okay, I'm now leaning forward. I'm looking forward to conflict because I am the reclaimed woman and this is my intrinsic aligned motivator. This is an opportunity. Does that make sense? So when you go to post on social media, when you go to pull out your camera to do anything, when you go to insert whatever XYZ experience is and action is you need to take, this is the blueprint you take with you.
Definitely. Yeah.
Can you see how that played out there?
Hmm. That was great. That was wow. I just feel like now everything, like I said, the pigeonhole, everything. I got things
Yeah.
everywhere. Now it's like they've come into alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
don't
I
even
don't
have
feel
to
so
remember it.
confused.
Yeah, there it is. And you don't even have to remember it now because it's written down. You just have to remember that it's written down. That's it. Because in these situations, it's easy. But when you're like about to go live on social media and all of a sudden it's like, oh, what am I going to do here? It's like, oh, let me
Yes.
try and remember it. I can't remember shit right now. I don't even remember my own name. Let me go into my notebook and pull it out and just give it to myself.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that beneficial for everyone else? I know we spent a solid hour and a bit there
Hmm.
on Kylie there. Was that okay, Jess and Valerie and Chris, for you guys to go through
Thank you,
that?
everyone.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, it gave you guys a bit more of an understanding of the process and those sort of things. Yeah, cool.
Thank you. That was not what I expected when I come on here today. But wow, it's great. Thank you.
Yes. No expectations, only appreciations. It's kind of a motto that I live by. Awesome. Did anyone else have a question or anything else they wanted to go through? I'm happy to keep this open for a little bit longer. I've got a little bit of time free still, so if someone else wanted to jump off, or if you guys are happy to digest that, sort of, if you have, actually let me do this another way. Does anyone have any questions on what I just ran Kylie through on the process I just ran? Yeah, cool. Ask away.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, you said there was the top loop and the second one to get to the bottom of it. What were the two identifying pieces before getting to the story of I hate conflict? So the first
Uh,
one,
as in, what was I able to identify within
yeah. I
within
mean,
Kylie?
yeah, I guess so. You said you uncovered the surface level to then
Yeah.
go deeper. What
Yeah.
was, yeah,
So the surface level ones we were going to work on was the fear, like the rejection and all those sort of things. Like that was going to be one of the blueprints that we're going to work through, was like, what do they think of me? What can I show up on social media? And that might sound like a deeper challenge because it is the fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. But I also know Kylie said she spent a lot of time working with, Jodie's community, and she's done a lot of the alchemy and healed a lot of that stuff. And sometimes if we go looking for it, we just kind of recreate what we've already healed. So that was one of the stories, but the overarching story that was going to govern it all was I hate conflict. Because we could work through the other story of, oh, what will they think and what will they say about me? We could work through those stories and we could clear them. But if I hate conflict is still there, we can clear that. And it's like, oh, but now I'm still stuck, but I don't know why. Does that make sense? So, and again, this is just to let you guys a little bit into like my mind and how it works here. We identified that what Kylie needs to do and wants to do and what she's ready to do right now is start posting on social media. Does that make sense? So I look at that and I go, okay, there's 30 different ways we could take this, but what's her goal? What does she want? And what she wants to do, we figured out from that phone call, is reverse engineering, is she's start posting on social media. That's actually the thing. There's all the other things that are in play, but when it comes to the business, how does she feel the most incongruent? She feels the most incongruent because she's not actually posting on social media. She's not really stepping into that identity. Does that make sense? So for me, it was like, all right, well, which one of the many things that Kylie has shared here is the overarching thing that if we work on that, everything else is going to get an upgrade naturally. And it was at the start when she was like, oh, I hate conflict. Like, there it is right there, because good luck doing anything in this world without conflict. So let's work on conflict. So when it comes up in any way, shape, or form, we've got a blueprint to help us work through internal conflict, or got to post on social media, or my family still isn't listening to my boundary. I want to set my boundary a bit firmer with them, but I'm afraid of the conflict. Let's get rid of the conflict first. Does that make sense? And now it's just up to Kylie. The level of success that'll happen off this will be whether or not and how often she refers to that blueprint. And when it feels like it's not working or when it's hard, stay convicted. Stay in your conviction. This is the blueprint that we have identified. If I run this blueprint, I will step into the identity. I must now be convicted. Kylie, you must now be convicted in this. This is where you coach yourself, right? And when you feel yourself not being convicted, well, separate and investigate. Okay, hang on a sec. No, I'm being incongruent right now, which means there's conflict happening inside of me right now. The only reason we are incongruent is because there is conflict happening inside. That is it, right? I said I'm going to do a thing. I'm not doing it because there's a part of me that doesn't want to do the thing. Now I have a part of me that doesn't want to do the thing and a part of me that does want to do the thing. Now I'm in conflict. I have a blueprint to take myself through conflict. Does that make sense? And you might have to take it through 5 layers to actually post on social media, because you might start procrastinating. There's conflict. I want to do it. I don't want to do it. Does that make sense? Fear might show up. There's conflict. I want to do it. I don't want to do it. Oh, I don't know if this is really want to do. Misalignment might show up. I want to do it. I don't want to do it. Everything is conflict in the inner world. Kylie, you now have a master plan for conflict. Be convicted and use it on every freaking layer and every part of you that tries to come up to the surface. Okay? We might have to do some big healing and wonderful releases in the future. That's great. Right now, it's about stacking evidence. Remember what I said right at the start. We want to create evidence that this works. And we want to tip the scales and create a little bit of balance. Is that making sense?
Definitely.
Yeah. Because in the future, when I say to you, Kylie, I want you to start charging $2,500 for your coaching program instead of charging, $1,000 for it, you're going to go, oh, conflict, what? And it's like, it doesn't matter. We got years worth of evidence stacked that we can use this blueprint to overcome conflict.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys see how, does that answer your question, Valerie? How and the priority, and yeah. And just for the coaches in the room, because I know, well, I mean, just you're technically a coach as well. When it comes to what you're doing in the coaching space, the intuitive lead is very important. Okay, but observation is you need to be able to observe what's really going on within your clients. And the only way you can't be trained for that. Well, you can, but it won't feel right, and you'll come off as more of a psychologist. The only way to do it, and the only way to truly see what's going on in someone else, is to have first seen it within yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which means overcoming your own conflicts, your own doubts, your own criticisms. Even if you're not going to help someone show up on social media, even if you're not planning on helping someone start a coaching business, if that's your challenge and you can get yourself through your challenge, whatever your challenge is, and you see it within yourself, you'll recognize that same conflict in another person. And it doesn't matter if what they're trying to do is find their purpose or have a difficult conversation or insert whatever the challenges are that your coaching helps people overcome. It doesn't matter. All right. Once you overcome your own challenges, you can help someone else overcome their challenges because it becomes that energetic resonance. Okay, I see that. I see what's going on with you. I understand the systems. I know what's happening. When that lands, you will never be afraid of coaching anyone. And as soon as you're no longer afraid to coach, everything else kind of you just do it. You know what I mean? You just kind of do it.
That's what I want.
Cool stuff. Great question, Valerie. Great question. Jess, did you have any questions at all?
Okay, so more, I would jump on, say this was really helpful for one of the identities, like my stories that I've been telling myself. And for me, it's not soft, but it's this happy, joyful, empowered person. So just as we've been listening, it's been really helpful just to work out like my belief, my values, and my identity for that, and actually realize that, I was suppressing, and I've been talking to you, Josh, about a lot of this stuff. So I have been suppressing a lot of the stuff that I have been through. And so now all that has been coming up for me. So a part of me feels a bit, it feels like I'm working through a little bit of sadness at the moment with this, which is totally okay, because my identity that I always identify myself as this positive, happy, because that helps my clients with my work as well. That's who they know me as well. So it's been really interesting over the last 2 weeks, I would say.
You shared something really important there. When we identify by an emotion, we have to put up a facade that we always have that emotion, right? Like if I identify as someone, like I identify and like my identifiers are someone that I always have my shit together, then what do you think I'm going to suppress? All the ways I don't have my shit together. Does it make sense? And I'm going to share something that is a little bit political, and agree with me, disagree with me, that's okay. This whole identifiers within genders and all of those sort of things, that what's happening neurologically and biologically is the same thing that we're creating. It's the same understandings that we have here. All right. That's why someone who like identifies as a man or identifies as a woman or identifies as someone, in spite of all the evidence they have biologically that they're not them, they have to keep up such a facade that if someone challenges that identity, and you see this in the extremists, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it as a general pattern, but you see it in this super extreme where if someone then challenges that identity, they just turn to violence or screaming or yelling or throwing things straight away, right? Why? This is how powerful story, belief, value, identity is. Add in a threat response. You threaten my identity. You challenge my identity. I will fight, like flee. The 4F, sorry, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Okay, I will do that. I will do whatever I can because my motivation right now is survival, because without this identity, I don't have anything. All right, the mind is wired to protect the identity. That's the job of the ego. The role of the ego is to protect the many identities. Does that make sense? So if you identify as someone that always has your shit together, if you identify as someone who's always happy, if you identify as a man or whatever else it might be, then you have to suppress and delete, distort, and generalize And fight or flight or whatever, every piece of information that does not reflect that truth. And when it comes to emotion, I'm this happy, bubbly person. I always have this happily, bubbly person. As soon as I feel sad, fuck, I'm sad. Something's wrong. What's going on? I'm always normally so happy. This isn't who I am. I'm always such a happy person. And all of a sudden, our emotions are a threat. What the fuck? We're humans. Like, good luck living life only feeling a handful of emotions. Kylie, good luck living life without having conflict and chaos. Have you met us? Have you seen what humans are? We are conflict. We are chaos. We are mess. We are full spectrum human experience, baby. So we have to be that. And a congruent person is someone who sits and accepts all full spectrum of emotions, full spectrum of human experience, chaos and conflict and all. Does that make sense? Like, so Kylie, your belief is I trust myself to move through conflict. Conflict isn't a bad thing. That's freaking brilliant because you're going to be in emotional conflict for the rest of your life unless you continue to run your defense mechanism, which is soft and playful and just soft and nothing really bothers me. When you first shared that to me, I was like alarm bells, like positive bypass. We should be angry. We should be sad. We should be all of the mother trucking things because we are all of the mother trucking things. We were designed by God specifically to feel absolutely everything. Make sense? The lucky ones who become Christians, we get to share it with God. So it's like, haha, I don't carry my chaos around anymore. Ha ha ha. I don't walk alone.
I think that has been helpful for me too, particularly. Like I feel like I'm leaning in spiritually through this because I don't want to carry this alone. I want to face some of the things that I haven't been dealing with. So I guess it's put me on a journey in so many different ways, you know. So it's really good. It's what I came here for, I guess.
Yeah, and that whole the spiritual aspect is a different thing. You know, it really, really is to be spiritually aligned. It creates a whole other element. And I made a post about it today, actually, that one of my biggest challenges in life and where I was getting so stuck, especially within the business as well, was I was searching for unconditional love in the conditional nature of humanity. My own humanity and also the humanity of other people. Like we're not bred or born for conditional love. Everything about us is conditioned. We are born as a blank slate, an absolute blank slate in the vibration energy of love. That is it. And then as soon as we start interacting with the world around us, conditions are placed upon us. It's not possible for us to give or receive conditional love from another person because humans, the nature of humanity is conditional. It is emotional. Makes sense? And for me, and this is just sharing my journey, that all changed when I found God, when God found me. And I'm not here to preach at you guys or anything along those lines, but God is unconditional. I don't hold him up, therefore I can never let him down. Does that make sense? Whereas in relationships with people, we tend to hold each other up. We tend to unconsciously project our greatest self and our unconditioned selves out onto the world around us through no fault of our own. But we tend to project that out there and have an expectation that other people will hold our pain with us and for us. And they can if they're in the right conditions. But if the right conditions aren't met, we can be broken so much by people because I gave you my pain. How dare you throw it back to me? I gave you the softest parts of me, those vulnerable parts of me, and you didn't hold it in the way that I needed you to. I expected you to be unconditional in the way you held my love and my pain, but you're a conditional being, and vice versa. You expected me to be unconditional in the way that I held your pain, which didn't leave any space for the conditions of my state. Because in relationships and intimate relationships, we're not always at the same place at the same time. Two people aren't always happy and aren't always sad. And if someone is bringing a challenge into a space of a relationship and the other person doesn't have the capacity to hold it for whatever reason, maybe they're going through their own stuff, maybe there's a big trauma that's come up, then all of a sudden we have these painful projections and these ego unconscious self angry because we expected someone else to hold us unconditionally without realizing that they're conditional and so are we. And my journey through faith and to God is recognizing that God is the unconditional. I don't hold him up. And because I don't hold him up, I can never let him down. So I just get to be free and walk on my journey knowing full well that God's got me. I still feel the human experience. I still feel my convictions and all those sort of things. I'm not free from it, but I don't carry it alone anymore. And I know that there's nothing I can ever do that's going to let God down. It's just my own thing, right? And that's pretty cool. I know I can let my partners down, let my children down, let myself down. But yeah, so yeah, the spiritual aspect is very, very important. Whatever your spiritual beliefs are, Christianity is pretty good, just saying. But you do you. Cool, cool. All right, any more for any more? My mother places conditions on. Oh, that's mother issues. Yeah, yeah, right. And we can only be frustrated if we forget that your mother's just a conditional human being. Do you know what I mean? We expect perfection from other people and all those sort of things. It's just like, not even perfection, but, and this is, I said it before, right? Expectations, sorry, I never have expectation, always appreciation. I have no expectations on any human being ever. I just appreciate everything they do. But I also have this thing called discernment. So if I set values or set boundaries or have standards and someone isn't living up to those values and those standards, then you know what? No expectations. I appreciate what you're showing me, and I'm going to have the discernment to step away or to help you, whatever else it might be. But when we have expectations, we can be disappointed. Cool stuff. Great conversation, guys. Thank you for allowing me to talk a little bit about spirituality and God and Christianity and all those sort of things. I slowly convert some of you. Chris is like, never. You just got me thinking woo woo wasn't woo woo, all right? You just got me closing my eyes and meditating for 30 seconds. Calm down on your God talk.
I went to a Catholic school. I've heard enough.
Oh, yes. All good, thanks. All good. Did you have any questions or anything, Chris? Or are you solid, just happy tuning in, floating around?
Yeah, I was more than happy just to tune in today. Like you said earlier, like I've gone through all this sort of stuff and I can do it, but it's just good to see other people do it, and it's interesting watching the new people, everyone new to the program, like starting to click little bits and pieces together as well. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been cool. I remember when that was you sort of putting the pieces together. I remember on like my like
Yeah,
sales
yeah,
calls.
100%.
Yeah, I remember my early calls with Chris. He's like, "Don't give me none of that
Yeah.
woo-woo shit, Josh." I've come like 5 or 6 sessions in. He's like, "Oh, it's not woo-woo. I get it now. I understand it all now."
Yeah.
Talking about energy and frequency, and he's like, "Oh shit, I see it everywhere. Damn it, what have you done to me?"
Still a little bit sus on the chakras and stuff like that, but energy, and the quantum physics, I can get behind that.
Yeah, I like it. And guys, the quantum physics for Valerie, Kylie, and Jess, when we start doing the quantum physics stuff, it just blows it opens everything right up. And then all of the earlier stuff is like, I get it now. Cool.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah. All right, that's it for me today, guys. If you have any other questions, that's cool. Happy to stick around. If not, thank you so much. The live session from Tuesday is currently being uploaded, so it should be a couple of hours. It takes YouTube to format it and make it all in the right space for the school portal. But thank you so much, guys. Hi, Valerie.
Sorry, one more question. I just started watching your focus video
The focus formula, yeah.
Yeah, because uh, my whole entire life hasn't been disciplined. So I'm really looking forward to going through that and
Yeah.
having a set routine. So
Yes.
yeah, nailing
The
that.
distraction audit is phenomenal. Are you ADHD or neurodivergent? Do you have a little bit of this, that, or the other going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to start off by saying this: structure and routine, like a normal person, isn't going to work for us. Just doesn't.
Yeah.
The way our dopamine centers are within our brain, the way that our brains are genetically wired,
Yeah.
standard setting lists, doing tasks. I've got 15 minutes free, so now let me plan out my meals for next week. What the fuck? Who does that? Not us. All right, our brains just like, let's leave it all for the last minute, do 3 months worth of work in 30 minutes. Okay. So the focus formula is really great for helping you understand and do those different things because it unpacks the neuroscience behind it. But I need you to release the possibility that you will ever be able to create structure in your day like the rest of the 95% of the population. We don't operate like that. And when you learn to embrace and learn about your ADHD cycles of dopamine, of energy, of productivity, of busyness, of distraction, of overworking, once you become conscious of it, which you will throughout what you learn in BYOC and you will throughout the focus formula, you'll completely shift the way that you structure your week. For example, and perfect example, last week I was in it. I was in the dopamine fix. I worked like 14-hour days last week, every day of the week. You have no idea how productive I was. I almost finished my wedding celebrants license course. Because it's another thing that I'm doing. So it's like I MC weddings and do different speaking gigs, and I was like, I want to now be able to marry people. So if anyone wants to get married, I'm like, hey, let me do this. Um, Finished that course, started my theology studies for my doctorate in theology, started my studies for my bachelor in ministry, massive days, built out a bunch of content, onboarded a handful of new one-on-one clients. What else did I do? Worked on my 2-day event that I'm releasing over in America next year, doing a bit of a US to USA tour. I was so productive all week. This week, the only work that I've done is BYOC and now this call and just my one-on-one calls. Make sense? Do you want to know what, that's
Yeah.
my cycle. So,
Yeah.
and usually I can do about 2 or 3 days where I don't really do anything before that it starts switching in. It's like, okay, now I need a heavy dopamine reward again, right? And it doesn't matter how many times I try and train my brain for these little dopamine releases and all those sort of things. My work schedule and when I'm most productive is when I work in sprints and then I take a couple of days to recover. And then I feel shit because I haven't done any work for a couple of days. So then I'll hit another sprint and then I'll recover. And it varies. It's never like 4 days on, 3 days off or anything. It varies. So what I do is I've been doing the BYOC work and knowledge and blueprint mapping long enough that I recognize my own signs. I recognize my own stories. So I just trust myself. I never put pressure on myself to work when I don't feel like working. And I never put pressure on myself to stop working because I'm working too much. Does that make sense? And as a
Yeah,
result of that, I have a really brilliant natural flow and rhythm, a wonderful natural flow and rhythm, where I get to smash out work when I feel like smashing out work, sit back and relax when I feel like sitting back and relaxing, and just really trusting that what I'm experiencing and feeling and seeing into in the moment is exactly where I need to be, because this is how I operate best, regardless of what anyone else is like.
Yeah. I know
So-
I'm just resistant to working. So there's a pattern that I need to
Yeah.
work through. But that's
Yeah.
okay. I'm aware of it. And it's maybe that fear of being back in burnout of when I
Yeah.
was there. So
Yeah, burnout's not fun. Yeah.
yeah, no. So yeah, I don't hyper focus. I hyper focus on one task at a time, like for
Yeah.
hours. But yeah, and then I'm smashed the next day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What I would suggest doing, and perfect opportunity for you to do this, is while you're doing BYOC and we're in these Thursday calls and we have the every second Tuesday night, test yourself a little bit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, because I won't let you slip into burnout. And very worst case scenario, you can send me a DM, ask me a question, or it's going to be, a Tuesday or a Thursday before we have the actual opportunity to coach and do some work together. So test yourself, put yourself into it. Like right now, you have the safety of me as your coach temporarily, but you also have the safety of learning all of these different tools. So when burnout shows up, or when you start to feel it, you can go, okay, well, what's actually happening, and map it out as it's happening. Don't avoid it. Use it. You've got the tools to draw out your own maps right now. So push yourself a little bit. See how you go. Use me, use the community, use the mapping, the blueprints to kind of recognize what's happening in burnout and when you are pushing yourself, and then relax a little bit and do nothing, and then go, okay, what's going on here? What are these stories?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah. It's tough. I'm the influencer in steadiness in
Yeah.
the disc style naturally. So yeah, it's like 55% I and 45% S naturally. The
Yeah.
DNC just does not exist.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Work within
So
it, test it, push it, figure it
I'm
out,
working
map
on
it
it.
out. Once you've mapped it, you're good to go. Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Jess, I'm interested to hear what you learn when you're not trying to force yourself to be happy. I like sitting in when I'm feeling sad or feeling down. I like to sit in it, not wallow in it like, but I like to sit in it, just listen and learn. Well, what am I like in this state? What are the stories? What are the experiences? And allow myself the opportunity to feel them, because I'm not always low. It's not very often that I'm low, you know what I mean? And I don't want to avoid feeling low. When it comes up, I'm like, there's so much wisdom down here for it. Does that make sense? So Jess, interested to hear when you come out of it and you reflect and you start learning some of your own wisdoms and lessons. It'll be really interesting to hear you speaking those out, and learning what's waiting down there for you.
I think at the moment I'm just feeling them, you know. I'm just sitting with the feelings, which I don't usually.
When do you plan on going to the thing?
3:30.
Yeah, you're expanding your capacity for discomfort right now, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it really uncovered for me my identity, you know, like what I was, my story and my identity, what I've been telling myself I am. But obviously, that's what you were talking with Kylie about, the conflicting stories within yourself. So actually revealing that. So, and obviously then learning to, I really don't know what comes after this, you know. So that's why I'm sort of looking forward to going through to the next part of the BYOC to actually, okay, I've sort of got my head around the blueprints. So now working with stepping into that, I am statements, my language that I'm using. Yes.
The next three are pretty big. Needs, boundaries, parts, weak, and then quantum. Those three are really great pieces of the puzzle to tie it all in. Needs is big. It makes a massive change in the blueprints and in the psyche method. We actually start getting into step C or the third step being collaborate. We start getting into that around needs week and parts week. So when you can have a look at all of these different blueprints and all these different actions and feelings and chaoses and survivals and brain patterns and all these sort of things, like which of these fundamental needs of the human condition, which of these 6 core needs is this actually trying to fulfill? When you identify the needs that it's trying to fulfill, everything's just like, now I get it all. Like literally all these weeks of I'm not too sure, it just drops. Does that make sense? Because it's like, I know the need that this is, I know why, I know what it's been trying to fulfill. I get it now. If I can then fulfill that need in a healthy way, this pattern will stop trying to fulfill it in an unhealthy way. Does that make sense? So,
yeah, I think you've actually identified that last time, a couple of times that when we've spoken, you're like, oh, I can see it straight away, you know.
Yeah.
It was at love and connection, and I was like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I could see it within Kylie today. Do you know what I mean? But I don't want to give her anything to think about just yet. So I think our next Tuesday session is needs week. Get into it. If you guys want, and like if you guys want, watch the needs week content and then go watch the replay from the last time I ran needs week. Do you know what I mean? And like you don't have to wait till the live session. If you're just like, just give me the answer now. That's pre-recorded in the content. You know what I mean? Go for it. Go for it. But when we deliver it live, we'll unpack each of the 6 core needs, have a look at how they've been showing up in a healthy way, how you've been actively fulfilling them in a healthy way, and all the different unhealthy ways that they've been getting fulfilled. But either way, guys, these needs have to be fulfilled. They are the 6 fundamental needs of the human condition. All right? Every thought, emotion, action, behavior, desire, everything is driven by fulfilling one or more of these 6 fundamental needs. And chaos ensues when our needs are not fulfilled. Make sense? Cool. All right, I'm going to shoot off. Thank you for your time today, guys. Massive appreciation for this. I will upload this one, put it in the portal as well, and I'll send you guys a message when Tuesday's session is uploaded. Cheers, guys. Thank you.